Hello everybody, Storm here. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Online Shadowbringers. In the last episode, we finished the main storyline for 5.0. So we fought through the recreation of the Final Days of Amarat dungeon. Got through all of that. And then ended up facing down Emet-Selch himself. He revealed himself to be Hades. And then we went into a trial to fight and eventually defeat him, ultimately destroying Emet-Selch. And that should now prevent the 8th Umbral Calamity from ever occurring. Or at least from occurring as it previously did. However, Elidibus is still out there, so while it's a major victory, the war's not over in that particular respect. Also, let's see, what else went down? There's a whole lot that went on. The Crystal Exarch has not disappeared, which he was expecting that when history was changed, that he would disappear because now the timeline that he's from should not exist anymore, but he is still there. So that means that the rest of the Scions are still stuck in the first. So we're going to need to resolve that. And also, Estinian and... why am I blanking on his name? Gaius van Baelsar arrived at the Imperial Palace in Garlemald and ended up encountering Xenos, who has reacquired his body and killed his father. So the Emperor is dead, and Xenos is not interested in ruling, so that's going to throw the Empire into disarray. And Elidibus revealed the truth of Zodiark and Hydaelyn and the shards and all that sort of stuff to Xenos before fleeing. So that's going to be a problem. And we don't know exactly what has happened with Gaius and Estinian yet. But there is more main story quests to do because several extension patches have come out. I think we're up to 5.2. I don't know if 5.3 has actually come out yet. We're on 5.25. Okay. 5.3, I think, is about to come out. Probably within the next couple of weeks. So that's good. So, there actually is a bunch of stuff to do. There's a couple of optional dungeons. There's a couple of raids. There's the ongoing main story beyond the end of the original release of the expansion. And there are level 80 job quests to do. So, what I've decided is that we're going to do the level 80 job quests for Warrior and Dark Knight specifically. And yeah. That's what we're going to work on. This should be relatively quick if my experience with the other level 80 quests are consistent with these. So hopefully not too involved. Just kind of wrapping up and getting reacquainted back with the those particular storylines. So that's what we're going to do. And then I'm going to go ahead and continue to push the main story quest. until we get up to the point where there isn't really any more left to do. And I'll have to see if we get out to... if 5.3 actually comes out before we get to there, or what. Because I'm going to get out to there, and then once we hit that wall, where there's no more main story quests to do until a subsequent patch, then we'll come back and start doing the optional content and the raids and all that kind of stuff. So yeah. That's kind of be the plan moving forward at the moment. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started on the level 80 warrior quest, which that should be with Curious Gorge in Eastern La NOSCEA, out at Costa del Sol. Yeah, and continuing on with last episode is, unfortunately, it wasn't quite as smooth and, you know, didn't quite flow as well as I would have liked because, well, I had to basically rework a lot of it and use the unending journey journal in the inn room to view the cutscenes, all that kind of stuff, which was rather annoying, but, you know, that kind of is what it is. Alright, well, there is Curious Gorge. So let's go ahead and chat with him and see what's up. I think last we saw him, we were in the Azim Steppe. And he was confessing his love for the Al-Ra character that we had met. Well, we'll see where he's at. Curious Gorge is training here, but his mind is elsewhere. Yes. Once, twice, 3 times a warrior. Oh, Hayame, how long has it been? It's been a while. I've been dedicating myself wholly to my training for some time now, day after day after day, but I fear my progress has come to a halt of late. You look well, a fair bit stronger than I remember even. What is your secret, my friend? How have you grown so much more powerful? Well, it's a long story. So I got sucked into this portal and traveled to another world. Wait. I can tell this is going to take a while. Since I've just finished my training, why don't we speak at length on dry land? So we're going to bring him up to speed. So there are more worlds than this, eh? That's a lot to take in. And this grandson, ye gods. To see the woman you love taken from you before your very eyes. No wonder he struggled so mightily to pick up the pieces of his life. After listening to your tale, I realize what it is I've been missing. The one thing I lack to spur me to even greater heights. 'Tis love. Ah, yes. I sent several missives to Dorgono, you see, but she has yet to respond even once. I've waited patiently, eagerly, but still no word has arrived. Fear has crept into my heart. Has she forgotten me? Has she met another? I cannot rest until I know the reason for her delay. I must know this is no time for training. Nor could I afford to be patient. Grandson's time with his beloved was cut short. Who is to say ours will not be as well, or worse, if it already has? It is decided. I will purchase passage on the next ship for the Far East and return to the Azim Steppe with all haste. I'm coming, Dorgono. Oh boy. And there she is. Ayame, how fortunate you are here. I've been looking all over for Curious Gorge. The Marauders Guild told me he trained near here, but I did not know you did as well. What do you mean he's going to the steppe to see me because I never answered any of his missives? Is this a joke? No matter how many he sent, I would have never responded. Our people have no written tongue. Whatever reached us was probably fed to the goats. Anyway, let us hope that someone informs him of our arrival before he gets on a ship. As for why I have traveled this way, it was at the behest of my father, who wished to thank you and Curious Gorge personally for fighting on our behalf. I am Lusven of the Karel, and you are Ayame Yatsurugi, the Kagan who stood with my people against the Chagan. But that is not all, for you also helped my youngest daughter gain control over the will of Karash. No words can express the depth of my gratitude towards you. You promised not to speak of Karash. But I must. My heart broke when she was marked as taken and exiled. And never again would I see her, I feared, but then she returned, blood of my blood, master of Karash, my little girl, and it is all because of you. In thanks for your deeds, I wish to present you 30 horses. Father, no, it is not the way of Eorzea to give horses as thanks, and besides, she is a traveler, they would only be a burden. I apologize, Kagan. Now then, I must also express my gratitude to the others, warriors of the Maelstrom. Were they? I believe I recall the way. If you have time to spare, might you accompany us? Having traveled so long solely in the company of my father, I am finding him increasingly exhausting. Alright then. Speak with Broken Mountain in Lower NOSCEA, which should be, yes. Morabi Dry Docks. Alright, there we are. It is a pleasure to see you again, Ayame, as well as Dorgono. I am surprised to see her, as you doubtless are, and in the company of her father besides. I must insist that you accept a small token of my appreciation. I do not doubt my daughter was quite the handful. No less than 50 goats, I think, should suffice for the imposition. 50 goats would be a far greater imposition, Father. It really was no bother, sir. A pleasure, honestly, and a regrettably short one at that. So much so that we were hoping we might see her again. So you can imagine our surprise and our delight when you arrived. Not horses or goats, then. Wait, are you not the leaders of these warriors? Yet you do not carry an axe. Why is this? That is because I cannot. Not since I was defeated by mine own brother in battle. He had succumbed to his inner beast, your Karash, and struck a blow with such ferocity from which I have never fully recovered. But it is well that he did, for I too was enthralled to the beast at the time. Had he not given it his all, countless innocents may have died by my hand. It is not an unfamiliar story. Many a Karel has suffered a grievous injury, which rendered them unable to fight. But I am a healer, and I can help you wield your axe once more. This is in your power? I did not think it was possible. It pains me to see a warrior who yet yearns to fight but cannot. Allow me to treat you as repayment for your kindness. Full glad am I to accept. Thank you, sir. Thank you. This treatment requires a quantity of shiver moss. While it is not native to your land, I believe a similar type grows here. Let us go and gather some. You lot return to your training for now. I don't know about you, Ayame, but I'm bloody excited. Alright. I need to go speak with Louvson. Where? Where specifically? Oh, way up there? Okay. Got a bit of a ride ahead. Alright, well, let me go ahead and ride up there, and I think I'll just pause, and then I'll be back once we're there. Alright, here we are. Here's Louvson. Let's see what he needs. The moss of which I spoke, I spied in this place not long ago. We will need a moderate amount for the ritual to heal Broken Mountain. You and Dorgono can both assist me in this. Look for mossy rocks nearby and shatter them with a heavy swing, then gather up the shiver moss. Ah, I remember this game. The marauders were always breaking rocks to hone their skills. This will be easy. Use heavy swing on mossy boulders to obtain shiver moss. Yeah, okay. Alright, there's a boulder. And another one. And there should be a third kicking around here somewhere. There it is. Alright. Done. You wield your axe with great skill, Kagan. May I have the shiver moss? Indeed you may. There it is. Very good. Now, before my daughter returns, there is one other matter which I must discuss with you. She is a woman grown, and as her father I must think of her future, of marriage. Alas, she has shown no interest in any warriors of the Corel. At first, I thought none suited her, but then I began to wonder, was her mind made up? Had she already chosen a suitor? Realizing this, I persuaded her to come with me to Eorzea, and now that we have met, I feel more certain than ever. Dorgono has fallen in love with a warrior of another land. And I could not be happier for her, for who could disapprove of the champion who stood against the Chagan? I am Yatsurugi, Kagan of the Steppe. I will not oppose the union of you and Dorgono. I offer you my blessing. Well, that's not quite right. Did I meant? No, let's see. Honestly, not all that keen on the whole... So there's this bloke called Gorge. Don't mind if I do. No. So there's this bloke called George. Or Gorge, not George. There's no E. Hey, who are you to decide such things for me? I will not marry Ayame. I have already chosen a suitor, and it is not her. Oh, I see. I was so certain that, so who is this other? We will not discuss this any further. We have the moss. Now let us go and prepare for the ritual. Pray forgive me, Hagen. I spoke out of turn. Dorgono is right. We should attend to the ritual and restore Broken Mountain to the warrior he was. Yeah, that's... Alright. Well... At least we cleared up that slight misunderstanding. Alright, so, over here. Let's see what this is going to be. I have brewed an elixir using the moss. Drink it now. Very good. Your body is ready. You must now receive the power of another great warrior. I can think of none more suitable than you, Hagen. We must awaken the Karash within him once more. I bid you summon the strength of Father Azim and strike Broken Mountain with all your might. You bid her what now? All your might. Hold nothing back. Swing to kill. Anything less and he will be crippled worse or die. Muster all your strength and attack Broken Mountain with a heavy swing. Alright then. Ugh. 7 hells. What is this? This feeling I feel welling up from deep within. This fire, this passion, this rage. The beast stirs again. Its power is mine. It fills me with strength, yet I remain in control. Huzzah! The strength never left you, my friend. The injury was not one of the flesh, but of the heart. Trickery of the mind. A deception of the self. The elixir served only to steel your flesh and dull the pain, so you could stand fast against the Hagen's axe. You will not need it again, for the fear that held you hostage has fled. I see. It was in my head all this time. It's no secret that fear can cripple a man worse than any wound, but I never thought, gods, what a fool I've been. Thank you so much for helping me to overcome my foolishness, Liv son. You've made me a warrior again. Hey, look who it is. Thank her. For a warrior of surpassing strength and power is indispensable for this ritual. No other could have served as well. Aye, for there is no greater warrior than Ayame. How could you, Ayame? You and Dorgono, all this time. It all makes sense now. The letters, the silence, it was you. Curious Gorge, what is this nonsense you speak? What's gotten into you? Oh, no, you don't, you stupid fool. Nice hit. I am so sorry, everyone. When I went to the docks to find a ship bound for the Far East, I ran into some marauders who told me Dorgono and her father had come. So overcome by joy, I began searching for them at once, but when I finally found you here, and saw how you looked on Ayame with such joy, all my earlier fears came rushing back, and the beast within me seized control. It better not happen again. You're lucky I held back. Next time I won't. And brother, is it true you have fully recovered? You are a warrior reborn? Congratulations, it is like a dream come true. Indeed, brother, indeed. At first I struggled to believe it, but it is as Luv-san says. I must go and join in the training sessions at once, and do not fear, the beast will not claim me again. He's probably going to need to get some armor. I cannot thank you enough, Luv-san. It has been longer than I can remember since my brother smiled so. You have given us such a gift. It is the least I could do after all. You have done for my daughter. Okay. Thank you for your kindness and your hospitality. Our time is short, however, and we must be on our way. Having said that, Dorgono, I am reminded that you are still young and want for experience. You are not yet a warrior fit to wed, and so I bid you continue to strengthen your body and mind here, in this land. It suits you, I think. Did you hear that? I can stay. We can even train together. I can show you all the techniques we Querelle use to hone our skills. Aye, but first I must teach you my methods. You must come with me to Hidden Falls, right this instant. You too, Ayame. I have a few final words I wish to say to you there. Alright, you kids go have fun. Alright. So back over to Costa del Sol. Alright, this ride shouldn't take too long. Just up the beach. And we'll turn that in. Alright, there they are. Alright, I trust you understand what all this means, my friend. Now that my brother has taken up the axe again, the competition for the title of Eorzea's greatest warrior will be that much more intense. Don't forget, I'm in the running too, you know. So keep at it, warrior, for the time will come when we challenge you again. Alright then. Okay, so we also have a quest to do for Dark Knight. Yes, it gets goofy. That's over in Foundation in ISHGARD. Travel to we're gonna head on over to ISHGARD. I gotta re-glamour my gear. Let's see. Glamour plates. I set that one up. There we go. Something more appropriate for a Dark Knight. Alright, so it should be Sudoku over there in the bar, as usual. And let's see how this goes. I have enough time, hopefully, to get through both of these. Alright, there's Sudoku and Riel. Alright, they will tell you you are 1 and you are 2, you can choose. Okay, weird. Ah, Ayame, it so happens I have a letter for you. Okay. Well, before we talk about that, mind telling me what you've been getting yourself into lately? You and your scions, I mean. I have an inkling, perhaps. I went and saved another world, as it happens. Come again? Reflections of the Source? Parallel worlds? Sin Eaters? What in the seven hells are you on about? Something tells me this is only going to make any kind of sense if you walk me through it from the beginning, step by step. Yep, so I'll bring him up to speed. Right then. So to sum up, you were swept up into another realm shaking conflict, were you? Well, of course you were. You've an insatiable hunger for it, don't you? And even when you bite off more than you can chew, you refuse to let go. What? As if you didn't know. Hell, so the moment I laid eyes on you, I suspected you were a particular blend of impulsive and stubborn. Takes a special kind of bastard to become a Dark Knight, much less a warrior of light, don't you think? You traveled unto a doomed world and pledged your sword to a futile cause. You fought, and you fought, and you fought, and in the end you won the day. Barely. Though I know it wasn't without loss, without sacrifice. Victories like that are always bought with blood. But you and your comrades paid that price all the same. That faraway land and her people live on because you all were willing to fight to the bitter end because you were too stubborn to die. And because of love, I'm sure. Being grim and dark will only get you so far, don't you remember? It's like the Mughals, like Sir Ompagna himself said. The flame in the abyss, the love you fear for the ones you must hold... Oh, for the ones you hold most dear, that is the source of true strength. Ayumi could have never made it this far if her heart wasn't filled to the brim with love. Is this a roundabout way of asking me about my heart's desires? Let's not and say we did, eh? I'm sure that Thancred fellow you mentioned would provide a far more meaningful and interesting response. Having to look after the reincarnation of his surrogate daughter is certainly... though I suppose on some level I can relate. What? I've not once thought of you as my father. Well, no. I mean, we're not even of the same race, so of course no one would ever look at us and assume... What? If you want to put a label on it, then what would you prefer? Master and disciple? Manservant and noblewoman? Cid? How about Chocobo's arse and whatever you damn well like? Gods, you can be daft sometimes. Hey, what did I tell you about calling me that? Children, am I right? Best we give her a moment to cool her head. For now, let's talk about that letter I mentioned earlier. It's addressed to you, but who penned it I cannot say. It was delivered to me by a young woman of the Broom, Looney, I believe her name was, or Lunny. Said she'd seen us with you out and about in ISHGARD before, and reckoned that if she left it with us, you'd eventually be around to pick it up. Before you ask, no, I have not taken a peek, so its contents remain a complete and utter mystery to me. As for the sender, you'll have to pastor Lunny at the Holy Stables if you want to know more. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have an angry girl to mollify. Maybe surrogate siblings? Alright, within the sealed envelope is a paper which you unfold to find a message written in a strangely familiar scrawl. Ayami Atsurugi, you'll forgive me for the sudden correspondence and the secrecy. You helped me, in a way. Once upon a time, It's past time I said as much, and so here we are. Feels like a lifetime ago, come to think on it. You've been through quite a lot since then, accomplished incredible things. I'd like to think that in some way I was a part of your journey. Far from the best, no doubt, but for me and my own journey, I think it's safe to say that you've been well. There's no suitable words to describe it, really. I've done things, made decisions. Looking back, I can't help but feel more than a little foolish, but such is life, and we have to seize what few opportunities we have for closure, even if it is through the written word and not face to face. So wherever you are, I hope you are happy, still fighting, still adventuring, still doing what you love. Be well. The letter bears no signature or any obvious clues as to the author's identity. Perhaps Lenny can shed light on this mystery. Perhaps. So, the stables. I think that is over by... somewhere? Over there. Sky Steel Manufactory is probably the closest. Shard. Alright, there she is. It's you, it's really you, Ayame Atsurugi, my hero. Honestly, I never thought I'd get to see you again, much less speak with you. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, you probably don't remember me at all, do you? I'm not surprised. All in a day's work, I suppose. Saving silly little fools like me. And it was so long ago when you rescued me from those temple knights who were trying to take me away from my grandmother. I still remember it like it was yesterday, though. You swinging that great big sword of yours, bellowing all kinds of terrible threats and sending them running. I'm sure some might say you overdid it, but thanks to my grandmother and I never heard from that lot again. And ever since Sir Emmerich and his allies came into power, we've had a lot less of that trouble all over. But let me guess, you didn't come all this way just to see me, did you? Well, I got this letter. The letter, huh? I thought so. It wasn't me who wrote it, I can tell you that much. I got it from a knight I befriended after tending to his chocobo a couple of times. Sir Patrunad. He said it was to be delivered to the hero of the Scions, a peerless warrior with 1,000 victories to her name. After he described your features in detail, it all fell into place, and since I was certain you'd eventually pay a visit to your friends, I offered to take it to them. Anyway, he's the one you need to talk to if you're after the sender. Maybe check the congregation? I mean, that's where the knights congregate, I presume. Alright. Alright, I think that's over by the Forgotten Knight. The congregation, I believe, is through here. Yes, the congregation of our Knights Most Heavenly. And it appears to be upstairs. So... I don't think I've ever actually come up here before. Alright, there's Patronad. How may I be of service to you, Mr. Yasuruki? Well, I have this letter. The letter. Oh, what a relief it is to see that it arrived unmolested. It was entrusted to me by Orella of Rhalgr's Reach. After the battle at Gimlet Dark, I spent a few nights there, you see. I can only assume that whoever sent it to the Reach had heard tell of the battle between you and Lord Xenos, and how you had been brought to the Barber. However, by the time it arrived, you had long since been spirited away to ISHGARD. Had Lundy not recognized you from my stories, I do not know how I might have seen it to your hand. If you seek the author, mayhap you should pay a visit to the Reach. I know only what I told you, but surely Aurela can tell you more. May the Fury watch over and keep you, friend. Alright then. So off to Rhalgr's Reach. It's been a while since we've been there. Well, I mean, it's been a while since we've been anywhere in Eorzea. Alright, so Aurela is over here. A pleasure to see you. Lost that long-haired boy of yours again? You mean Alphino? I know right where he is. This is about the letter, is it? It came with a shipment of supplies from Little Alamigo, as I recall. I can only presume the sender was hoping that Commander Hext would see it to you personally, but I'm not surprised it escaped her notice given the chaos at the Gimlet Dark and after. It found its way into my medical supplies, and as you well know, I decided to let that ISHGARDian knight take charge of its delivery. In any event, I advise you continue your search in Little Alamigo, and if anyone there knows aught of the letter's author, it would be Gundobald. Oh my goodness. Okay, Little Alamigo it is. This is taking me on a trip. Okay, Gundobald. This way. Well met, Ayame. I was not expecting a visit. What brings you to southern THANALAN this day? Well, I'm trying to track down who sent this letter. This letter, you say, and you seek the author? If you read it, then you know their heart, what you meant to them, how you changed their life for the better. There's a feeling I understand all too well, which is why I agreed to send this letter with the supplies for Rhalgr's Reach. Yet you never were one to let a mystery remain unsolved, were you? You seek answers, closure. I will not deny you this. At the Red Rooster Stead in Lower NOSCEA, you'll find a man named Goatherd. Speak with him. Perhaps then you'll find a measure of peace. Lower NOSCEA now. Well, back here it would seem. We were just there. There really should have been 2 Aetherites in this zone. Because the only one here is in Morabi Dry Docks, and it's like... trying to get to the northern half of this zone is quite the hassle. Alright, well, I'll go ahead and pause again while I ride up there. Alright, I'll be right back. Alright, we are just about here. There's Goatherd. Let's ask what's up. Oh gods, it's you. But why? Why are you here? Well... You really don't remember any of it? The Kokiran bandits? A certain merchant who may have overstepped his bounds just a trifle? You were a right bloody mess when you returned to the dry docks with my wares, and I do mean bloody. Ah, yes, I do remember you now. I say it is none of what I am telling you ringing a bell. Really? No, it is. I remember. Even the part where I refused to thank you and demanded that you pay me restitution for the property you returned to me? Well, seeing as I've already confessed it, may as well reiterate, it was me. That was just the beginning of my bad luck, as it happens. A string of bad decisions left me in debt to some very unforgiving fellows, and before I knew it, they had taken damn near everything I owned. I was friendless, penniless, hopeless, and yet, and let me tell you, running afoul of the Warrior of Light had not done me any favors either. There was a time when I couldn't help but blame you for my misfortune. And then, one day, when I was rummaging through my meager possessions, I had an epiphany. I stumbled upon a package from that shipment you recovered for me that ill-fated day. Flower buds, stained with Kikiran blood, but viable for cultivation, still brimming with the potential to grow and thrive. Before I knew it, I was cradling the package in my breast, sobbing and moaning like a mad fool. For a fool is exactly what I had been. I'd been offered a kindness without let for lien, and instead of thanking this generous hero, had spat in her face. So I left that life behind, save for the bulbs I brought with me here. I apprenticed myself to the botanist and resolved to start anew. And wouldn't you know it, the stubborn little fiends finally bloomed for me. I suppose it's only fitting that you show up again that very day. I have 1,000 regrets, but none greater than how I spoke to you. I say this not to beg your forgiveness, but to tell you how you've changed me for the better, and to thank you for the opportunity. I do have one request, if you are amenable to it. I pray you accept a flower, one of the precious few that has bloomed. A token of my heartfelt appreciation for my personal savior. Admittedly, this particular breed is perhaps best suited for funerals and farewells, but if you'd rather not keep it for yourself, perhaps there's someone else who might welcome it? Someone else indeed. Alright, with the chat mode and say, enter Frey to call out your comrade in the COERTHAS Central Highlands. Okay. So that was a guy we ran into pretty early on in the Dark Knight quest line. Okay, here is the spot. So go ahead and enter Frey. Oh. Well, first off, you need to make sure that I'm in say mode, which I was not. And then say Frey. There is no response. Yet there can be no answer but this, can there? So let us wait for a time, you and I, in the cold and the snow, in the dark. Interestingly enough, that is, at least it looks like, a Japanese iris, otherwise known as Ayame. Clever, clever, clever. Or are we just playing it by ear? No matter. I wanted this once, more than anything, a chance to speak and be heard. But neither of us needs it anymore, and if we were to look deep within ourselves, we would realize that we never did. We are the stories we tell ourselves, the brave hero, the tortured soul, the altruist, the pragmatist. They will tell you who they see, but you and you alone know who you are. For I speak only for myself. If you find comfort in my words, they are yours for the taking, but that is your choice, now and ever after, as it has always been. Now comes your part, to cloak yourself in the fiction, to breathe life into the dead, to give a voice to the voiceless. As we did together that day, when you gave us our answer. Was it ever mine? Alright, interesting. Alright, back to Sudoku. And see if he's managed to calm Riel down. Alright, where you are. There you are. Alright, welcome back, Ayame. As you can see, Riel and I are getting along swimmingly, so you needn't worry about us in the slightest. Not one bit. So, what of that mysterious unsigned letter? Did your grand search for answers lead you anywhere interesting? Closure, perhaps. That's so. Well, glad to hear it, I suppose. There you go. Done. Alright, so I think with that we'll go ahead and end the episode here for today. When we come back, we will pick back up with the main story quest line and start heading into the unknown, at least for me anyway. I haven't done any of these quests as yet. Alright, so with that, we will stop here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.